Collective, welcome, welcome. I'm Nikki, your local vegan tarotist, and we're going to start with a channel message, all right? And it's dream related, directly. So I think the collective that I'm speaking to right now, they are having dreams about their person. They maybe have always had prophetic dreams, very intense dreams, or they are maybe just learning how to do dream work. So the dream I had was I was in a room full of people and everyone was kind of laying around. It was very loungy, it was very relaxed, and I was having a conversation, and it was like I sort of and you may experience this, maybe you have ADD or you drift off into thought. You might feel, if you are someone who has experienced astral projection, you do any sort of lucid dreaming, you may have always felt like you're sort of in between, like you have, it's a challenge, it's a daily challenge to tune in and out of the 5D and the 3D. You're always like sort of in a waking life. That's a movie as well, Waking Life. Very interesting film project that was done many years ago. But yeah, maybe something about that film. It's a lot of like riddles and so anyway, I tuned into the space in the dream, like I was just tuning in to the reality that I was in. And I was speaking with a female, and she looked like that Cynthia, Ariana Grande's boyfriend. I'm teasing, but but she's I believe a Capricorn. So this is very devil energy, attachments, lower vibrational things, blocking your blessings, is kind of the message here. So I called her Star, and she said, "My name's not Star." And I was like, "Oh, my mistake. What is it?" And she was like, "Guess." And I was like, she's like, "I just told you." And there was a sort of not just arrogance, it was like a desire. I could feel a desire for her to embarrass me, to embarrass me in the people that were there. And I don't embarrass that easily. So I was like, oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm high in the dream, in this interaction. I was like, I don't know, maybe I'm high, thinking, I don't know. I know her name. And then I realized I was in a dream, because whenever I try to read the time or read words or have a mantra, and if I can't say it, then I know that I'm in a dream. So with lucid dreaming, if you know, look into that. I'm not going to get into that whole practice, but I used to do it many years before addiction, and then addiction kind of wiped that out. And so through sobriety, I've come back to rehoning those skills, those dream skills. But anywho, she was in this little, like, trying to play a guessing game, and I'm like, I don't know what your name is, whatever. And she just wouldn't tell me, and I'm like, you're really not going to tell me what your name is? Okay. And so I was like, well, maybe I don't want to know. I don't really give a shit then. So I was walking out, and her partner, a male, was walking with me. Now, I don't know who he is in my 3D reality, but I had a sort of scorpionic energy there, and also Capricorn and Pisces, right? So it was kind of an amalgamation of male entities in my life, and they were walking with me, and we were walking out to the car or to run an errand or something like that, and he was sort of like venting. He was starting to vent about his partner, this non-star, right? Could be an Aquarius involved here, but I feel the star Aquarius energy represents healing. Okay, so this masculine is with this false star. He's with a karmic. He's not with this person. And then we hear somebody behind us. So as he's doing that, I'm like, well, I just don't understand why she wouldn't just tell me her name. Like, what's the deal? What's the deal with that, you know? And in real life, when people are, degrading or venting about their partners, particularly anyone who is even thinking that they're going to be a romantic option, I don't entertain that, because I'm not here for that. If there's something you don't like about your partner, then don't be with your partner. You're basically degrading and talking poorly about yourself, because this is your chosen partner. So, but anyway, in the dream, I did feel sympathetic towards him, and then so we heard somebody behind us, and it was like he knew who this person was, this masculine. There was a male. I'm going to refer to them as feminine and masculine, but in my dream they were male, female. And so this other one was in all black with a black hood up, couldn't see them or anything, and they were in the shadows. I couldn't see them at all, but you could hear them, and they were saying something, and it was like they were saying her actual name, and like they were calling me her actual name. And in the dream, it's like I could almost remember, it was like on the tip of my tongue what she told me her actual name was. So anyway, he was calling me this name, and the male that I was walking with kind of grabbed my arm and pulled me into, it was like a downtown area, but no one was there, so it was like a storefront, glass window, glass door, but it was a little inlet, and he pulled me in there, and then he put his back to my chest, and like I backed up, so it was like he knew this other male was going to be a threat. And so I was like, oh, well, who is this person? I don't know. So you see him come around the corner, and he's coming up, and even though I was kind of like, oh wow, this male here is protecting me, I grabbed my knife and switched the blade out, because I still was like, didn't trust his like false protection almost. So this male comes up, and he says, Nikki. That's my name. So something about somebody your person could be talking to in your dreams, right? And saying your name. But he said Nikki, and he reached forward, and I thought he had a gun, and he was going to shoot me over the shoulder of this other masculine, because my head's kind of peeking this way, and I have my blade, and I'm about to get him. I'm about to go right for the liver. And then I stop, and in this microsecond, fractions of a microsecond, you know how it is in a dream when you're just waking up and your alarm will kind of be a part of your dream. So it encompassed the moment that he said my name, where it was this thought with the blade, I'm going to get him in the liver, and then I looked at the gun, and it was a police badge. Now, for me, police badges, cops in general, have been like archangels. Anytime that I've felt unsure about my scenario, or there have been real issues, I'll always see a cop car or hear a siren, and that's one of the many signs that I receive from the universe telling me I'm protected. It's a divine protection. Also, that harkens to one of the great films, Practical Magic, where she says his favorite shape is a star, and his badge is a star. So it's like this Amos Veritas, this spell that you have cast, this manifestation, literal manifestation for some of you, if your masculine is a male. And it's this sort of not feeling worthy enough of this thing, or this fear of the love. Like there was this fear of the love, and the only thing between this male and myself, the one who was actually calling my name, it was this other masculine here, this false karmic was in between us. It was like he was blocking the blessing of this thing that I maybe didn't feel I deserved or didn't think was even possible, because it was like something I had dreamed up many years ago. Like Sandra Bullock, she's a Leo, and then I believe he's a Pisces. Aiden, whatever his name is, Aiden. Also Taurus energy there, because Aiden, played by John, now I'm not getting last names either, and these are very familiar actors to me, so for whatever reason, Corbett, he is a Taurus, but anywho, it was this blocking. Also the name Carrie could be like an interference, so you can flip this if there's a masculine thing that has, oh gosh, 11:11 on the clock. I don't know why that ever surprises me. I'm always like, so shocked by all these little synchronicities, and yet they're constant. But I'm still like, oh my gosh. So in that microsecond, it was my name, seeing the badge, seeing the star. So he had the true star. I thought he was a threat, and he was coming to be a threat to me and this other situation, right? So you could be in a situationship. This could be a third-party situation. You could have attachments to maybe something that's karmic. That also reminds me of the scene from Drive, where Ryan Reynolds' character, there is a threat, and he sort of backs her into the corner of the elevator. It was kind of that sense of like, oh, this is protection. But in that one, he is a Scorpio as well. So there's scorpionic energy here. Also with the gun and the star, it's like a death and rebirth, the death of something, but is actually the rebirth. So there's like a fear of ending a cycle possibly. But this false karmic feminine is a star in reverse. So it's like, but then he was calling me whatever her name was. And then when he actually said my name, it was, I could hear it clear as day. It was mine, and it woke me up. And I awoke. I awoke to a new cycle, a new day. So the sun is our star, so Leo energy there as well. But it was this false star, false flame, false twin. And it could have been, I mean, for me, I interpret it as a false version of myself, that is maybe giving my divine energy to masculines that are not true, that still have attachments to other things, that are not truly open. They give us a false sense of protection or a false sense of and I could feel the weight of his back, so there is some sort of like pressure and blocking of this this blessing coming in, right? So there's like a cue, like, remember your name, remember who you are, remember that you are not the star in reverse. Don't block your own healing here. And this connection is very healing. It is the true star. So take from that what you will. I've already taken from it what I will. And there was quite a bit of nods in there for my own path. So I'm going to pull from the cards now and see how those, see if there's any additional confirmations to that. And this could just be like story time, but a reminder that if you have tuned out, or if you maybe have engaged in attachments, substances, anything that's blocking your spirituality, anything secular, we'll call it, that is of the non-religious or non-spiritual, right? It is things of the 3D, things tangible, right? I could feel the weight of this false man, which is like it's physical touch. Maybe your love language is physical touch. Maybe you're giving your body away to masculines or feminines that are not your actual person. And that will interrupt your health and your healing, right? Because when you, I get a lot of, it's not a very popular opinion, or I'll say, it's not a very popular truth, but you soul tie with everybody that you touch, right? Especially if you're an empath. You can shake somebody's hand, and there's a contract, an energetic contract there. So there's a need to be careful about where you're giving your energy to, whom you're touching, whom you're allowing to touch you. And that could be energetically as well. Maybe you, if you inherit a lot of energy in a space, right, you're taking on this energy. So there's a need to remember, like, that song, that's not mine. They call me her. They call me Stacy. They call me Jane. That's not my name. That's not my name. Scorpio at the bottom here of the feminine side. I'm also going to attune one of my decks that I was given by a Sagittarius. You could be dealing with a Sagittarius. And it is the Rider-Waite. So I've got the gold foil Rider-Waite that I use for the masculine side. King of Pentacles. You could be dealing with a earth sign masculine or a fixed sign masculine. All right, we got the Chariot, Ace of Pentacles. That's fixed water, more scorpionic energy. That's Cancer. And Ace of Pentacles is a solid offer also. If you'll notice here, metallic metals are important here. So maybe the jewelry that you're wearing, right? I lost an earring also yesterday. This earring. Thought I lost it in the desert, walking the dogs. And it actually had somehow fallen into my bag. Which I don't even know how it happened. But I was going through my bag to find my charger, and I was also recharging Four of Swords, and dream work is the Four of Swords as well. That's that resting, rejuvenation, and recharging, right? Just need to recharge. That's the thing, is if you're giving your love away, your love tank is not full. Holy fudge cakes. It's almost like I'm psychic. Four of Swords and the Hermit. There's a need to, and the Four of Swords is Virgo energy, to me anyway. But it's also giving Aquarius energy here. So there's something about fixed energy, fixed signs and earth signs here. And the star at the bottom. Oh. Y'all heard me shuffle these cards, right? Two of Cups, Four of Wands, Seven of Cups, and what's turned over here? Queen of Pentacles. Okay. The Empress. Now this is fantastic, right? This is what we want. We want that 1111, which we already saw on the clock. We want that Four of Wands. We want that union. And the Empress gets a lot of offers, right? But you're only wanting, feminines, you're only wanting something that is solid, something that lasts. This is an investment. Pentacles are an investment. They have longevity. They are dedicated. They are, and the fixed signs can tend to be a little bit possessive. There's a reason for that. There's a protective nature here. And yeah, you feminines, you could be, with that Two of Cups, yeah, you could have multiple offers here, but you're wanting the Pentacle. You're wanting the investment, because the investment's the only thing that's going to last through building an empire and co-creation. Queen of Pentacles here. Feminine earth signs. More Virgo energy. Yeah, there's a need to remember your source, the source of her power, denying her wounds came from the same source as her power. Also, not Laura Linney. What? See, names. Names are really tricky. There's something about the names here. But Seven of Cups is like having a lot of offers, and also learning yourself. This is kind of what brings me emotional fulfillment. We've got Pisces energy there, water, that's dream work. There's a need to tap back into your dreams. I feel like you have prophetic dreams, or you used to, and something you're doing, or somebody or something you've been giving your energy to has sort of dulled that. It's dulled it. Four of Swords at the split here. To just tune this damn deck right into, let's pull one off the masculine here. Okay, so I was going to pull one off the masculine here because I got the Queen of Pentacles over here, and she just looked lonely, and I wanted to fill this other space, and it's the fucking Queen of Pentacles. Could be same sex with the whole Ariana and Cynthia joke. Because she is very protective over her. But if you watch, it's a little weird. And I would say, you know, I don't care what they're doing. I don't care what they're doing with their sexuality if it's all consensual. But those two, as celebrities, give a really bad name to veganism. So, you know, I think there's a little healing that needs to be done there. And maybe that's a message here. There's healing that needs to be done. And maybe that's, if you are an empath, you tend to see potential. You tend to want to heal others because you never receive that healing in yourself. So you need to remember to give that to yourself, because you can't do it for anybody else. If somebody's in a connection, maybe somebody's, you know, kind of chewing your ear off about their crappy King of Cups. Their crappy King of Cups. Their crappy connection that they're in. Could be a water sign that you're dealing with. It's like you need to just let them go heal on their own. Two of Cups. Yeah, wait for, okay, we'll let you come out. This King of Cups is feeling froggy right here. Frogs represent fecundity. They also represent the transitional from, you know, land to water, which is very much Scorpionic energy because they are a fixed water sign. Also, they, you know, prehistorically or whatever, they were large underwater crustaceans. Scorpions were large underwater crustaceans, and then they had to evolve or adapt. I don't want to necessarily say evolve, because I think that it's the challenge with a lot of Scorpios, especially masculine Scorpios, is that it's like they can't live in their own truth in this world because people just can't handle it. So they had to adapt. They had to make themselves smaller. They had to migrate onto the land, and that's why people consider them and mistake them often for fire signs. But they are fixed water, which means that they are earth and water. Yeah, Scorpios get misinterpreted a lot. And as my sister sign, maybe something with a sister involved, but as my sister sign, my polarity sign as a Taurus, yeah, I'm very protective over my Scorpios. There's a very protective nature here with this sword here, Ace of Swords. There's a good communication coming in. I like it because it's good. I say it's good, like honest. See how it's got that crown on top of it? It's righteous. It's divine. It's honest. And it does feel like you're just manifesting this partnership out of the clouds once you stop giving to the 3D. So it's like needing to tap back into your connection in the 5D. Your person's speaking to you. They're trying to speak to you. And the Magician. It's funny because when I was doing the cards, you know, it's like, ooh, pick a card. Is this your card? Is this your card? Pick a card. Queen of Hearts energy there. But anyway, the number 26, which is 8. So that's a number of cycles, and we get that infinity symbol here. Somebody could have this as a tattoo, or be a life path 8, or be born in the month of August, right? You could be like an August Virgo or something like that, because we're getting a lot of Virgo energy here. And you could have strong water placements in your chart, right? Dream work is I was going to say the magician. It's the high priestess. It's Pisces, right? It's the third eye. But the magician, I was going to make a joke. Oh, I'm not a magician. But then I'm like, well, I am a fucking magician. I'm a divine alchemist. But I'm not a magician like a Chris Angel, watch me levitate kind of magician. So I was going to make that joke. And so I'm not surprised that the magician came out. Page of Pentacles, 8 of Cups. See, this is walking away and choosing yourself. Because wherever you are, it's like you're left out in the cold. This person is your sanctuary. Your actual person. You know, and a lot of readers talk about, oh, you're divine masculine. I hear this a lot. Feminines, I know this probably frustrates you too if you're here and you resonate with my energy. Because it drives me fucking crazy when people refer to just any old karmic or any old masculine as being a divine masculine. It's like, your divine masculine fumbled you. No, he didn't. A divine masculine does not fumble a divine feminine. A masculine can. A karmic will. For sure, a karmic will. But a divine masculine doesn't fumble you. They wouldn't be divine then. So I hate that. Because that feeds into the whole twin flame journey of like, the 3D vessel that you're looking at has to be your person. It's very conditional Hollywood twin flame journey runner chaser. And it just feeds into that. It needs to be toxic. It needs to be chaotic. It needs to be push, pull, sleepless nights. No. You should be able to sleep very well with your person. And I think you're going to do a lot of things very well with your person. The Devil in reverse. Yes. Send that mofo out of here. And it could be a Capricorn that you're dealing with, but the Devil just represents attachments. It's root chakra. I almost said sacral chakra, which is scorpionic energy, and that you need to release that and lay that to rest. Lay all of that, all the trying, all the eagerness, all the chasing, all the, needing. Let it go, because look at this attachment. These people are chained around the neck. It is a lot of sexual energy, but it's the root chakra is releasing it. Eliminate it. Because it's just, there's no nutrients in it, and so it's poisoning your body. And behind it, guess what? 10 of Cups. Boom shakalaka. That's 7 of Pentacles. This is reaping what you've sowed. You sowed these seeds, these dreams, these desires, these manifestations. You sowed them a long time ago. You buried them in the ground. And this also gives me practical magic, where they bury angel love. They have to lay him to rest. I don't know his sign. I mean, maybe you're dealing with someone very much in the physical, and they're very attractive, and they're very wild and fun and free, but it's so toxic. And it's the one who everybody thinks is crazy because they waited for the right one. But her resistance to love, her reluctance to love is actually, it's fear-based. And fear is also the devil. So if you're fearing love, because that can also, like how this dark figure in this hood, I feel like it's like a Page of Swords, like your divine masculine is already watching you. Like how he reads her letter over and over. And what comes out of them bearing that, and the roses, something with the roses, maybe the name Rose, the color red, the thorns, also bed of roses, Leo energy, Bon Jovi sings the song Bed of Roses. So yeah, there are a lot of personal synchronicities that you might find in these films, songs, or, references. But it's like the star comes in. It's this badge. I mean, maybe this person is maybe you're dealing with someone who is in law enforcement, or with the Six of Pentacles, somebody who's in the community. They're in your community for sure. And you could be dealing with a Sagittarius. Speak of the devil. Six of Pentacles here. Queen of Swords and Knight of Cups. Yeah, this masculine does not want you to be with anybody else, and I think that they see you giving your energy to others, and they're going to come in and say something, and it might be a little bit triggering, but it's like they're clinging to your words. Maybe you have some sort of way that you're speaking to them. They hear you speak. They hear your words. Maybe you write, but it's like she writes to her sister. So there's something with the sisters. Could be your sister sign, your polarity sign, right? But it's very much your twin, your other. There's something so familiar. What's the movie where she's like, "You're so cute. You remind me of my sister." She's like a drunk girl, and he's kind of freaked out by this statement. But there's something like very familiar in a way that brings you home, and just how they communicate. Her and her sister, they have this communication between them that is, they're so linked. They dream about each other. They can hear each other when they're calling out for help. Like, this person is going to, they're your family. They're going to feel like family because they get you. They understand everything that you're going through. And they're going to come in, and I think it's going to be a little bit scary at first, but if you really just take a pause, don't gut them like a fish. More Pisces energy. Don't get them in the liver. And then I also have this necklace here, so it rests right over my heart chakra. So there's the healing of the heart chakra. It's give it a pause and trust it for just a moment. I'll pull one more off of here. The Magician and the King of Pentacles. So we got the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. So it's a solid match. It's a solid match that has legs to stand on. It's going to last lifetimes, not just this one, because you've already done this before with this person. So there's like an immediate soul recognition, but as human beings, and if you've been in a cycle of giving your energy to that 3D, then you definitely might feel a bit of oh gosh, can I trust this person? And if you're confused by the 3D, that is when Spirit calls you back to the 5D. Go back to your source and remind yourself that you asked for this person, you wanted this person, and you're protected, and you're protected. You're protected with this love, and to love again, you can open your heart, because it's going to be very healing, and you're not going to be pouring into those who have no ability, no capacity to pour into you. So that's like the star in reverse is the Aquarius, the water bearer. You imagine flipping them upside down, their water's going to pour out, right? So this is keeping yourself upright, keeping yourself in your divine alignment. Remember, look to the stars. So a little bit of a different reading. I hope that there was something in here for you that give you some confirmation. And yes, thank you for your time, your patience, your support. And until next time, I wish you well.